The boardroom buzzed with anticipation as the director cleared his throat, ready to make the big announcement, "Congratulations on winning our corporate lottery. James Foster and Elizabeth Clark, you've just secured a 2-week Caribbean cruise." James felt the weight of Elizabeth's gaze beside him. His mother-in-law was a colleague, the best luxury real estate specialist in the agency, and at that moment, she looked as stunned as he was. He chuckled nervously, a mix of disbelief and unease swirling in his stomach. "Of all pairs, it had to be us," he muttered, half to himself. Elizabeth adjusted her glasses, her expression shifting from shock to a soft smile. "Sarah will be thrilled," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Thrilled," James echoed, glancing at his phone. Sarah was thousands of miles away in Europe, attending a 3-month medical conference. He could almost hear her voice, cheerful and supportive, but oblivious to the predicament he now found himself in. "The tickets are non-transferable, and the dates are fixed," the director continued, handing them the golden envelopes that held their fate. "Departure in 2 weeks." James's mind raced. "But I—" "No buts," the director interrupted, a grin stretching across his face. "You've earned this vacation. Your pair showed the best results." That evening, James dialed Sarah, excitement battling with guilt. "Hey, babe. You won't believe this. That sounds amazing." Sarah's voice crackled through the line, full of joy. "Too bad I can't go." He hesitated. "Maybe we could postpone the cruise." "The tickets can't be transferred," she replied, shuffling papers. "You should go with Mom. It would be a shame to miss such an opportunity." "Are you sure?" he asked, his heart racing. It felt surreal to consider a vacation with Elizabeth. "Of course. Mom hasn't been anywhere since the divorce. She needs to get out." "Right," he said, his mind whirling. What could possibly go wrong? The next day, he approached Elizabeth's desk, still reeling from the conversation with Sarah. "So, Sarah suggests we go together since she can't." Elizabeth raised an eyebrow. "Are you joking? Son-in-law and mother-in-law on a romantic cruise? Sounds like the beginning of a joke." James chuckled nervously. "Come on, it'll be fun. Just as colleagues." Elizabeth looked thoughtful for a moment, then shrugged. "You know what? Why not? After all, we're adults." As the departure date approached, James felt a strange mix of anticipation and dread. The ship loomed large as they boarded, a floating city bustling with tourists. His heart raced as they explored their shared cabin, an overwhelming mix of excitement and uncertainty flooding his mind. "This is incredible!" Elizabeth exclaimed, her eyes sparkling as she took in the luxurious surroundings. The cabin featured a balcony overlooking the endless blue ocean and, James couldn't help but notice, the way Elizabeth's summer dress clung to her figure. A blush crept up his neck as he quickly looked away. Over dinner that first night, they were seated at a table meant for couples. James tried to laugh it off. "Just colleagues," he said, but the waiter winked, and both of them flushed crimson. The champagne flowed, easing the tension between them. As they clinked glasses, Elizabeth leaned closer, her laughter mingling with the soft music. "I never thought I'd be on a cruise with a young man at 45. "Not that young," he replied, playing along, though he felt a thrill at her attention. "For me, yes." Their conversation deepened, laughter turning into shared stories. Days passed in a blur of sun-soaked afternoons, lively excursions, and dancing under the stars. People began to mistake them for a couple, and surprisingly, neither of them seemed to mind. "Shall we dance?"